All right, ladies and gentlemen, the big dogs are back. Thank you so much for being here. Episode 54 of the Fat Katz Podcast. And I'm so sorry I was not able to make it last week. The big dog Cam had to run solo. But yeah, the boys are back. And I want to say, first and foremost, happy college graduation to all the Fat Cats around the world that graduated college this past weekend. Cam, I know I got a notification on my phone. It's actually a picture, funny story, of me, you, and Fry, of us graduating. Or no, it was me, you, and not Fry. Fry was in the picture, but he didn't graduate that time. But anyway, I got a picture of me and you with our cap and gowns on. The boys had their college graduation 2 years ago yesterday. So we're getting old, my friend.
Yeah, we've been old, I felt like. But I gave a shout out to everybody last week, but again, shout out to everybody who graduated. This is the last time that you're just free. You don't have any responsibility, you don't have anything to do. So enjoy it. Soak it up this summer while you can.
Yeah.
But also want to give a huge shout out to it's Military Appreciation Month, Ward.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give a huge shout out to all my family members that have served, everybody who served, whether you're kin to me or not. My uncle Steven, my uncle Clint, my uncle Ronnie, my uncle Eddie, my cousin Zach, and my cousin Isaiah all serve. Shout out Kerry Mounts as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many to name, but thanks to all the real heroes of this country, the military.
Absolutely. You guys should be making a lot more money than the guys that wear helmets on Sundays. But the Fat Cats wouldn't be around if it wasn't for our military. You know, we probably wouldn't have Zoom. We wouldn't have the freedom to do what we do. So Cam, so thankful for all your family that served in the military, and thankful for everybody that serves in the military. So Fat Cats, I don't have a hat on, but hats off to y'all. And yeah, Cam, I missed you, brother. It's good to see you again. I know we called up prior, but it's good to see you again.
We missed you last week, man. Everybody was asking me what was going on. Why was I by myself? But hey, sometimes duty calls, man.
Yeah, when you have 40 people coming to your new house for a graduation party, plus you have work, all of your free time has to go to getting a 1.5 acre yard correctly for everybody. So that's where my time was. But Cam, real quick, did you tell the listeners about our hoorah on Game 2 of the Carolina Hurricanes, New York Islanders?
So I didn't go super in depth, man. I kind of brushed over
it. The boys had a time.
I wanted you to be here. I did say, you know, from the tying goal to when we got in the truck was some of the, like, what I think it was 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah, Cam met Ric Flair. I don't know if he told you guys that. Cam met Ric Flair. There was a guy that sat in front of us whose sister was a chef and not in the military, for anybody that was there for that one. But yeah, we had a heck of a time. The Fat Cats were out and about. We were rambling. We were lost my voice after. And Cam, so first playoff game, I've been hyping it up. I told you PNC gets pretty rowdy. Would you recommend an average Joe that have never been to a hockey game to go to a playoff hockey game now?
Absolutely. That is, you don't have to know the game. You don't have to know anything. That is the most electric event you'll be to. I promise.
And I will say Cam's first game too couldn't have been more electric. There was 2 fights. The Canes were down by 3 goals in the third period, and we came back, and we didn't just win. We won by 2 goals. So we scored 5 goals in the third period, came back and won. We saw 2 fights. The players were going at it, talking crap the whole game. I mean, it don't get much better than that, dude.
Not only fights, it was belt to ass. Like, the Canes whooped up on the Islanders. It wasn't even close. But yeah, super fun time. If you've never been to a playoff hockey game, I truly recommend
Highly recommend it.
But before we get into it, Ward, I want to remind everybody you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Just type in the Fat Katz Podcast. Leave us a like. Subscribe if you're new. Drop a comment. We love interacting with you guys. Instagram and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. That's where you're going to get your clips and some updates and a lot of funny pictures of us. So hit us up on all that. We've got our link tree.
Shout out to Cam. Cam's the man when it comes to social media. Cam is the head of the Fat Cats and also the head of social media. So the guy does a great job.
Also, our link tree is in all of our bios. So if you're interested in getting merch, go find it there. But Ward, we like to start off every show here with first, favorite, and forgotten. If anybody's new, the episode number goes with the jersey number. So today, with it being episode 54, our first player to come to mind that wore 54, our favorite player to wear 54, and somebody who is forgotten or doesn't get enough respect who wore 54. Ward, go ahead and take us off, big dog.
Dude, I think this was everybody's first, Cam. Greatest linebacker ever, Brian Urlacher, or one of the greatest linebackers ever. I know he's an NFC North foe, but Brian Urlacher, and he's very well spoken too. I've always been a huge Brian Urlacher fan. His son is right around the same age as us, Cam, and he goes on a podcast and he talks about his son's recruiting journey compared to his. It's pretty cool to see. But Brian Urlacher, one of the greatest linebackers of all time, number 54.
Love it. Yeah. Brian Urlacher is one of those dudes. I'll always remember Brian Urlacher for getting ran over at the goal line by Jerome the Bus Bettis.
Yeah.
So, the first guy that came to my mind, and this is hilarious. I was doing NBA quizzes all weekend, Ward. So just kind of, that's how I pick my brain. That's how I scratch my brain, is doing quizzes like a nerd. But Kwame Brown wore 54 for a lot of his career. Kwame Brown was the first guy after Brian Urlacher that came to my mind.
Yeah. Kwame Brown, if you want to go see something funny, go look him up on YouTube roasting people. I know first people that comes to mind is him, and he does not like John Morant. He calls John Morant NBA dumb boy. Who else comes to mind? Derek
Arenas.
Fisher, Gilbert Arenas,
Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, anybody who was like a solid player in the 2000s, he cannot stay.
If you talk trash about Kwame Brown, you will lose. I mean, he's
even funnier than that, Ward. Go look up Stephen A. Smith talking about Kwame Brown.
Yeah, I have seen that. But yeah, man, moving forward, my favorite number 54, and the only reason why this guy is my favorite is because he is the new captain and the new face of the Washington Commanders defense. Bobby Wagner, Seattle, 54.
There you go. Bobby Wagner, man.
And they haven't released the new jersey numbers yet, so I don't know if he's wearing 54 for not or us, or 54 for us or not. I hope he is, but
yeah, that would be awesome. Having Bobby Wagner is so fun. Like, he's still a really good football player. Ward, what school did Bobby Wagner go to? College?
No idea.
Utah State.
Didn't know that.
Don't forget that.
I know he was in college, and we were probably in like third grade. He's a little old, but
he's an old timer. Now, my favorite 54 is new Steelers center Zach Frazier. Wore 54 at West Virginia. Picked 54 for the Steelers. This guy's going to be the new staple in the Steelers offense, and I could not be more excited to have a West Virginia boy being at the center of my Pittsburgh Steelers offense.
Yeah. He that was a really good pick for y'all, Cam. My next, this guy's not a forgotten. He's another favorite. I don't have a forgotten this week, Cam. So sorry. Cam, Joe Thuney, starting guard for the Kansas City Chiefs. Where'd he go to college? NC State Wolfpack, baby. Wolfpack, great. He was drafted to the New England Patriots whenever Tom Brady was there. Then he at his second contract, he got paid by the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's now one of the best guards in the NFL. So Joe Thuney, former Wolfpack legend, he wears 62 on the Chiefs, but he wore 54 at NC State. So maybe he could be forgotten. People forgot what number he wore.
Love it. My forgotten 54 this week is Brandon Marshall. Now, I know what people are saying. Brandon Marshall's a receiver. He didn't wear 54. Different Brandon Marshall. This Brandon Marshall played linebacker for the Broncos at the same time the wide receiver Brandon Marshall played. So it was impossible to have a conversation about Brandon Marshall without this guy coming up. Not really a lot of accolades. I don't think he ever made All-Pro or was a Pro Bowler, but he was a very solid linebacker in the mid to late 2000s for the Broncos. He was on the Super Bowl team. But just having a name of a guy who was like an All-Pro receiver and playing at the same time is also hilarious.
Yeah, pretty common name too. A lot of Brandons and a lot of last name Marshalls out there. And Cam, please mistake me if I'm wrong. Brandon Marshall is now dead, correct? The wide receiver?
No.
Is he not? Are you sure?
Yeah, you're thinking of Devarius Thomas.
Okay, yeah. Another Broncos
Brandon
receiver.
Brandon Marshall has a podcast that was also courtside at the Knicks game last night. So.
Okay, did not know that. Brandon Marshall, no disrespect for that. I'm so sorry. Demarius Thomas was pretty good too. So got y'all mixed up. But anyway, long story short, moving forward, Cam. Weekly game balls, one of our favorite segments we do, Cam. As you know, we discuss from this podcast, the last podcast, and we get into who our weekly game balls are and why. So Cam, start us off.
Yeah, my first game ball is going to go out to Mystic Dan, the winner of the Kentucky Derby. I think the horse was 15-1. It wore number 15. Reed Shepherd was at the Derby and said this horse is going to win. It was in the middle tier of horses supposed to win, and by its lip, it won. If you saw the photo finish, so shout out to Mystic Dan and all the folks in Lexington that helped raise that horse and train it.
Yeah, hey, them Kentucky horses are built different, Cam. Just like them Kentucky boys that when you were born, you've lived everywhere. But yeah, Cam lived in Kentucky at one point. First game ball for me, Cam, is going to a guy that we both know very well, UFC fighter. Guy hasn't won in 5 years, but damn, he finally won. Alex Lionheart Smith. He didn't just win, Cam, but he called out the GOAT John Jones after he won. So this guy, Alex Smith, if you want to talk about a gatekeeper, if you ever want to fight for a belt at 205, you have to fight this guy eventually because he's been there forever. So he also called out Alex Pereira too, which was kind of interesting. I think his head's in the clouds a little bit. But yeah, Alex Lionheart Smith, you finally won a UFC fight. So kudos to you.
Ward. I think we're talking about Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Yeah, my bad. You know what I mean?
All good.
You know what I mean?
Anthony Lionheart Smith. All good. My second game ball is going to Rick Pitino. For anybody who doesn't know, he's at St. John's now. He just picked up 2 of the top 5 portal guards in the country. So Rick Pitino making St. John's cool again, making St. John's another powerhouse in the Big East, man. So I've always liked Rick. Even when he's at Louisville, I didn't hate him as much as everybody did. So Rick Pitino is getting my second game ball this week.
Hey, good for old Rick. I thought he was going to be the next big blue coach. But yeah, next game ball, I'm going to give it to Commanders GM Adam Peters. And Cam, I'll get into why here in a little bit whenever we go over it.
Love it. So as we get into it, we got some NBA playoff talks for you guys. Canes, we're going over the Canes, a little bit of Kentucky Derby, and then we've got some football stuff for you guys. But before we get into it, also, Pet Peeve of the Week is back, which we're super excited about.
Pet Peeve of the Week is back. Cam, would you go ahead and hop into it?
We can do it if you want to.
We've already hinted at it, brother. We can't leave the audience guessing.
There we go. Kick us off with your Pet Peeve of the Week. This has not been around in like 6 months.
No, man. Pet Peeve of the Week's been a while. We need to keep track of them and make sure we're not going over any or having any repeats. But my Pet Peeve of the Week, Cam, and this is something where I'll think about stuff and I write it down on my phone so I don't forget. I don't have to think about this. My Pet Peeve of the Week, and for any of my gym people, y'all will know this: 35-pound plates. My gym, I go to the YMCA, Alexander YMCA, downtown Raleigh. There is probably, I don't know, a good amount of 45s, a good amount of 25s, and then just overrun by 35-pound plates. It's like people will put 35s down at the 45 rack or 35s on the 25 rack. And, it just messes up the momentum of everything. And I feel like, Cam, especially when you're on bench press, nobody goes from 185 to 205. You do your set of 135 warm up, you go to 185, knock out a few. You're not going to go to 195. You're not going to 205. You're going straight to 225. You're going straight to the big boy weight, 2 plates. So 35-pound plates, man, and people that use them. 25 is right there in the middle. 220 or 45s are getting heavy. So 35-pound plates is my Pet Peeve of the Week.
There you go. I didn't know we had such disdain.
Yeah, I do not like 35s.
That's hilarious. I've never heard that before, but it makes sense now that you say it. Now that I think about it, there are way too many 35-pound plates in this country. We need to get rid of them. It's
45s or 25s.
It's like when the government said that they wanted us to bring our change back and turn it in because they had a shortage. We need to turn in the 35-pound plates, man.
Exactly. Have them back.
My Pet Peeve of the Week is the Kentucky Derby coverage. Dude, this is supposed to be like one of the most historic events in the country. Like this is Kentucky's day, the state of Kentucky's day, to be in the national forefront. Mm-hmm. And the coverage of the Derby is brutal. You can't watch it. Like it's worse than like watching golf. I'd rather watch like a soap opera. Like it is brutal until the race starts.
Yeah.
Then you only get a minute and a half of the race. Minute and a half, man. That's not the only time I've heard a minute and a half in my life. But dude, Kentucky Derby coverage. I mean, we got to do something. It's got to be better.
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say, too, I was watching the Kentucky Derby, Cam. I know I'm not a big horse racing fan, but people love it. So I was watching it, man. I was sitting around for 30 minutes, and I'm like, damn, when we get a race, you can only talk about horses so much, and the jockeys. The jockeys are all about 5'5". They're not Cam size. They're more smaller guys. But But yeah, you can only talk about horse racing so much, man. So yeah, Cam, couldn't agree more with you. Great pet peeve of the week.
Love it. Ward, I want to give you a chance to obviously you weren't here last week. I want to give you a chance to go over your Commanders draft. I went pretty in depth with my Steelers draft, so go as in depth as you want. You can go 1 through 7, you can go 1 through 4, 1 through 5, whatever you want. Floor is
Yeah,
yours to talk about the Commanders.
yeah, man. So obviously I have a lot to say. I don't want to go over it too crazy. I'll go through first round, second round, third round picks. So we had obviously we had 3 second rounders, 1 first rounder, 2 third rounders. And obviously we took Jaden Daniels, number 2. I think that was the guy at that spot at number 2. A lot of people were saying Drake May this, Drake May that. No, thank God we didn't get Drake May. We got Jaden Daniels. He reminds me a lot of RG3. So yeah, I'm outside of Jaden Daniels. I'm excited for him, but I'm more excited about a lot of other people. Pick 2, we took, and a lot of people were asking why we took a defensive tackle, Jerzon Newton from Illinois. Cam, this guy's a dog. He was, I think, the 3rd or the 2nd highest ranked defensive tackle in this draft. And the thing is, great pickup for us, one, because Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen only played 55% of the snaps for us. So, and they're not going to, both of them won't be here much longer. They're both on, one's on a contract year next year, and the other one's on a contract year to year after. So, versatile defensive tackle, come in and make a play. The one I was a little nervous about, now the more we get into it, I'm very excited. So we drafted with our 2nd round pick, we drafted Mikey Sainstrill from Michigan, defensive back from Michigan. I was a little familiar with this guy. Wasn't he? He was on one of our boards, right? Wasn't he on yours?
Yeah, he's a Bam Bam's top dog.
Yeah. So he, it made me feel good about this guy after Nick Saban came out after we drafted him and said the Commanders just took the best pound for pound defensive player in this draft. Not the best pound for pound DB, but the best pound for pound defensive player. Makes you feel pretty good. Cooper DeJean was still on the board, and we traded back with the Eagles. And, I just feel like if we were going to take a DB, I really wanted DeJean. I was actually told everybody if we drafted him, I was about to buy his jersey. But, yeah, didn't end up got Mike. Very happy about Mike. Hopefully he can make a play for us. And then Cam, obviously, I'll go through. Ben Sinnott, we took him. He's tight end from TCU. Then we took a tackle from TCU, Brandon Coleman. And then we took Christian McCaffrey's little brother, Luke McCaffrey. It's all they've been talking about on social media. I don't know how good he's going to be. He was a 3rd rounder. He's going to be a slot wide receiver for us. But, Cam, the reason why I'm excited for this draft, and I don't know if this talks about how good our draft was or talks about how we were not – our team is not very good. We got 4 starters. We got 4 day 1 starters out of a 7-round draft. So, very excited for that, and team's on the come up.
Love it. I loved your guys' draft. Mike Sainristil was one of my favorite players. Another guy who rose up draft boards, getting Johnny Newton where you did. It was supposed to be a top 10 pick at one point. Is insane to me.
And something that made me feel good too is I looked at an ESPN list, a Bleacher Report list, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports, and they're like, what teams had the best draft? We were on number 1, every single one of those lists. So makes us feel a little good. We got good grades all around the board. Our new head coach, our new GM did a good job putting a draft together. So we'll see what we can do.
I do want to hear your thoughts. I don't know if you were watching when it happened or if you woke up and saw the news, but what was your first reaction when you saw that your boy Peyton Wilson was going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler?
I was extremely excited for him. He's going to a blue-collar city. He's a blue-collar guy with great work ethic. Him and Cole Holcomb, that's an interesting second level, dude. Yeah,
Patrick Queen too.
That's right. So I hope Peyton stays healthy, man. I hope Pittsburgh's going to love him though.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know his brother played for the Pirates too.
Yeah.
So he has some familiarity. I'm super excited about him, man. Get him at 84.
Oh, I know. Y'all got a steal, dude. Y'all got one of the best players in the draft. No, he's going to be a stud, dude. He's going to be a stud. Yeah, I was very excited for that. How many guys did Kentucky get drafted, by the way?
3.
We only State had 2 guys get drafted. We also, obviously, we had 1,000 guys get signed, but we only had 2 guys get drafted. We had, Peyton, and then we had an offensive lineman get drafted, like 6th round or something.
Hey, people getting drafted, man, that's dreams coming true. I can't knock a guy.
Yeah.
But Ward, speaking of NC State, UK football, spring is out of the way. We're post spring football. Tell me what you think about NC State. Any rumblings you're hearing coming out of that camp, and just your overall expectations as we get closer and closer to football season.
Yeah, I've never been more excited for an NC State football season. Cam, we have a new quarterback from what's it called? Can't talk. Coastal Carolina. We saw the guy when we were at Topgolf. But no, everything I'm hearing, we have two really good transfer portal receivers. One from Ohio State, one from Wake Forest. They're actually both from Raleigh. Our offensive line is back. We have a good run game. Defensively, we're sound. We're playing great football. Cam, don't be surprised, man. There's 12 teams now.
Are we calling our shot?
All I got to say, I will tell you a lot about this team after week 3. We play Tennessee week 2, week 3 we play Clemson. If we split those, we're going to be in a really good position.
Gotcha. I love it. I'm excited for NC State, man.
I'm really excited. I have a feeling we're going to be good this year.
I just hope it's not the classic NC State's going to come this year.
Anytime State's supposed to be good, we suck. So if we can stay healthy, I think we're going to be a good ball team.
Love it. To me, it all falls on McCall. Can McCall be a P4 power conference quarterback? And I think that is, as much as you hate to say it's on the quarterback, I feel like he's got all the talent.
It is on the quarterback. But the thing is about Grayson McCall, he does not turn the ball over, and he makes good decisions. He's been playing for 5 years. So, but he has the experience. He's not a rookie or not a freshman. So I'm excited, man. I really am. I'm really excited.
I love it. UK, man, I think this team is a lot better than last year.
Okay.
But
and who's that quarterback for y'all?
So we've got Brock Vandegrift, who transferred in from Georgia. He's a top 10 quarterback coming out of high school, was neck and neck with Carson Beck for the starting Georgia job. Obviously lost out.
Yeah.
Transferred to Kentucky.
Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, Devin Leary got drafted.
Crazy. Oh, so we have 4 Kentucky Wildcats get drafted.
Devin Leary got drafted. I can't remember who it was, but
the Ravens.
But the Ravens, yeah, that's who it was.
I'll be very surprised if Devin Leary is ever a legitimate NFL quarterback. But yeah, Brock Vandegrift's going to be the man at the helm. We got a new OC from Boise State. By all accounts, the offense looks great. We've got a guy in Deion Walker playing interior defensive line that's projected to be a top 10 pick. So I think this football team is going to be a lot better. Now, with that being said, 8-4, 9-3, like that's probably the ceiling. This schedule, if you haven't seen it, it's brutal.
Yeah, y'all do have a brutal schedule.
And this is going to be every year now. The new SEC is going to be brutal. Yeah. There's not going to be an easy game unless you get
y'all have Texas, or do y'all have Oklahoma?
Yeah, we go to Texas the second to last week's season, which I'm going to try to make a trip to Austin for.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a brutal schedule. I think we've got Georgia on the road. We open up the season. We have a 3-week stretch of at South Carolina, at Florida, and Tennessee at home. Like, it's going to be a tough schedule, man.
Yeah. What about I want to ask you about Keyshawn Silver, dude from Rocky Mount. Is he going to play?
Yeah, he started last year at nose guard.
So he did start. I knew he played. I didn't know if he started or not.
He's actually really good. He gets moved a lot more than you'd like in the run game, but I've never seen a guy get a pass rush as good from the nose as him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a ton of depth at D-line. Like I said, man, this roster is awesome. Top to bottom, a lot of high major recruits, a lot of battles won over the past 3 or 4 years that guys are finally starting to play. Just got a starting cornerback from Michigan to transfer in.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just DJ Waller is his name. We just got Gavin Wimsatt, the quarterback from Rutgers, who's going to come and back up for a year and then compete for the starting job.
Yeah.
So by all accounts, man, this UK football team is going to be awesome. But like I say, it's going to be a lot better than last year, but probably with a similar record.
So what's the prove it game for y'all? What's the game where, do you guys have any hard non-conference or hard games early on where you're going to figure out what you're all about?
So I believe it's week 2. I could be wrong. Week 2 is either at Florida or South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
That's the game for me. Those games, when you talk about Florida, you talk about South Carolina, and you talk about Missouri, and even Tennessee. Yeah. That's the fight for, are you going to be second and third place in the East, or are you going to be, 5th or 6th place in the East right in front of Vandy? I mean, it's legit. Like, those are the swing games to, like, Missouri last year is a perfect example. You go up 21-0, at home against Missouri, lose the football game, and they had the season that you probably would have had.
Yeah.
They go 10-2. They're second, and then they play in the Sugar Bowl. So those games early in the year kind of define your season.
Yeah. Hey, what's Big Mingo doing back there? I see him in the reflection.
He keeps flopping around back here trying to distract me. He wants everybody to know that he's back here.
Yeah, Mingo is back there. Mingo is ready for Wildcat Kentucky football. So
he's hard to miss, man.
Mingo's big. That's a lot of dog right there.
Yeah,
that's the definition. He is a fat dog, not a fat cat. But anyway, Cam, our make it or break it. We play Tennessee very early on, week 2. NC State never starts out strong, so yeah.
Week 2 in Charlotte, by the way.
Yeah,
in Charlotte.
We play Western too. Thursday night to start the year out, but then week 2 we play Tennessee. So
are you coming up here?
Hell yeah, I'm coming for that.
There we go.
I looked at tickets yesterday. They're only $60. Not bad. And they're doing something really cool too. NC State fans can only buy tickets in certain sections, and Tennessee fans can only be in other certain sections. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Tennessee travels really well.
I know. So. I'm curious. I had an argument with somebody if there's going to be more Tennessee orange or more NC State red there. And they say more NC State red. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I have no idea.
Let me say, if Tennessee out travels you guys, that'll be a shame.
Well, I mean, Knoxville's 3 hours from Charlotte, just like Raleigh is.
I know, but this is your state.
I know.
There's also, I will say, there's a lot of Tennessee fans in Charlotte too.
There's a lot of Tennessee fans in Coley. There's a lot of Tennessee fans in Asheville. There's a lot more than you think, man. That orange travels pretty well. But no, we will. I know NC State will travel very well for that.
I hope you guys beat Tennessee.
I hope we beat the damn brakes off of them.
But that's our. Do you have any more spring ball or football?
That's it, brother. I'm really excited for football season. I'm starting to get itchy a little bit. They were supposed to release the NFL schedule Thursday. It got pushed out the next Thursday.
I saw that. Yeah. If anybody who's not a UK or NC State fan, let us know. Justin, I want to hear your thoughts on Clemson. Clemson, by the way, Ward, 14 guys transferred out.
0 transferred in.
Still holding true. He's not doing transfer portal. We'll see if that ever comes back to bite him. But yeah, any other fans of any schools, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you think about your upcoming football season.
Carolina fans. What big Carolina fans do we have listening to this? I know John. Is any of your boys Carolina fans?
El Spring.
El Spring's a Carolina guy, right? Fan. What about Novak? He's a South Carolina guy, right?
South Carolina Gamecock, yeah.
Okay.
So I try to stay away from them, man. Once you graduate from Carolina, you get this weird thing where you just think you're better than everybody else. I can't stand to be around it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't like them either, brother. Outside of those frat kids that saved that burning flag. That's about the only good thing Chapel Hill's ever done.
Got it. Yeah, man. Happy Military Appreciation Month, everybody, by the way. Ward, I have a question for you. As we talked, Mystic Dan won the Kentucky Derby. The owner and trainer of the horse has come out and said that it's a possibility that he's not going to run it in the Preakness in a couple weeks. The Preakness is the second leg of the Triple Crown. So my question to you, Ward, one, if you were the owner, are you running in the Preakness no matter what, unless the horse is hurt, obviously? And two, should it be required that if you win the Kentucky Derby, you have to race in the Preakness?
See, I don't see why he's not. Like, that's like winning the Masters and then not, or that's like winning, I don't know, the U.S. Open and then not wanting to play in the Open. Like, I don't get what's why, you know? I mean, why? You already won one of them. Why not have the opportunity to win the Triple Crown? But I don't know, Cam. I think you feel a little more strongly than I do. I know not about. I couldn't tell you one horse in horse racing. I couldn't tell you a brand of horse, type of horse, nothing. So, ball's in your court, my friend.
Yeah. So his argument is that the races are 14 days apart. He says that's too quick of a turnaround. But he had a horse race in the Kentucky Oaks, which is the Saturday before or the Friday before the Derby. So one day before, and he's having that horse race in the Preakness. So I question, what's the difference between 15 days and 14 days?
Yeah.
I think you should be. I think if you win the Kentucky Derby, you are required to run in the Preakness because we've only had 2 or 3 Triple Crown winners. Like, this is like one of the biggest things in sports, and you're just going to work it out. And I think his thing is if it goes and loses the Preakness badly, like the price to breed with it goes down. which makes sense. Like, this is a business at the end of the day, but you have a chance to carve your name into history as a trainer, and the horse also has the same opportunity.
Yeah, and for that damn trainer, your horse just won the Kentucky Derby. I don't think breeding wise, I don't think anybody's worried about that. You
Yeah,
might lose
exactly.
$100 or two, but when you're spending $50,000 on a horse, I don't think
Well,
$100 is
and
something
he
we're
said,
worried
Ward, that
about.
he's going to run in the Belmont, which is the third race. So why not, like, God forbid you win the Derby, you win
Yeah,
the Belmont, and then you didn't even run in the Preakness. Like, what are you not going to think about that for the rest of your life, man? Man, I could have had a triple crown winner.
I know.
Um,
Yeah.
so, I mean, let us know your thoughts, man. I'm not super strong in the Kentucky Derby, but I think it's just goofy to win the Derby and then not go to the Preakness. It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense to me.
Couldn't agree
Uh,
more, brother.
Ward, Canes are down 0-2 after that electric first playoff game series. It feels like the script has been flipped,
Yeah.
where the Canes have been up and then blown leads. Walk us through these first two games. They lost last night in overtime.
Yep.
The New York Rangers.
Boys aren't looking good, Cam. We do not. Cam, I was telling you about this earlier. So, anybody that follows the Hurricane, I want to tell you guys a crazy stat. In the last 3 years, we're 4-13 on the road in the playoffs, and at home we're like 5-12. Or I'm sorry, at home we're 12-5, maybe something like that. We just don't win on the road, Cam. I don't know what it is. That's why any sports bettors out there, statistically speaking, if you bet on the Canes losing on the road, you're going to win money more times than you lose. So, yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. Last night, I thought we had it in the bag. We were up by 1 in the third period with like 12 minutes left, and then they hit a big goal on us, and then we had so many opportunities to score in overtime. We just couldn't get the ball in the puck. We couldn't get the puck in the net. But yeah, Cam, I admit to being a giant bandwagon Hurricanes fan. Hopefully Freddie, hopefully Freddie, our goalie, can get something together. But yeah, man, we come back to Raleigh, we have a good chance of winning in Raleigh. So, but we can't split in Raleigh. We got to take both of them.
Yeah, got to win both in Raleigh.
We got to win both. It has to be 2-2 going back to New York.
Love it. Yeah, again, I'm even more of a bandwagon Canes fans. I've only watched one game since we went to that game. I couldn't name you one guy on the team. All I know is it's fun to go.
And I will
yeah.
say, them and the Rangers, they fight like hell, man. God,
Yeah.
they were fighting. They fought. I don't know if they were fighting in overtime, Cam. I fell asleep, but all in the first and second period, they were fighting like hell.
That's the best part of hockey, though. I think,
Yeah.
to me, that should be something we implement in every sport. I think you should have 1 or 2 instances per game where you're just allowed to put your dukes up, man.
Yeah.
You get a
And
5
then you
minute
only
break.
get 5 minutes in the
Yeah,
you only get a 5-minute break. Not suspended
football.
and yeah.
Yeah, football, you get like a 2 drive where you have to sit down, whatever. But to me, like, man, these are physical sports. Let them put their dukes up and go at it.
No shit.
But Ward, one big thing that's been going around on social media that we need to talk about, because I know how you feel about this, but I want everybody else to hear about it. Austin Rivers said that he thinks that NBA players would translate better to football than NFL players would transfer to basketball.
Yeah.
He thinks that you could take it. He said that if you took 30, there's 30 NBA players that you could drop in football that would be able to make teams and be starters. The list was awful, first of all. But Ward, what do you think? Do you think it's easier for an NBA player to go play in the NFL or an NFL player to go play in the NBA?
Cam, we've talked about this so many times, and I know we talk about this in college all the time. At the end of the day, brother, everybody can play basketball. Me and you can go out there and play basketball. Now everybody can play football. Kevin Durant, one of the greatest superstars ever in basketball. He's about as skinny as my finger. Imagine him running a quick slant over the middle and give me a linebacker off the top of your head. Cole Holcomb, give me a hard hitting linebacker off the top of your head. Micah Parsons drops back.
Screw a linebacker, man. Give me prime Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, Brian Dawkins, Sean Taylor, what's his name from the
Ed Reed.
Cam Chancellor, Ed Reed. Imagine one of these guys running a slant route, catching the ball, and having a helmet in their chest. They wouldn't know what to do. They would encave their chest cavity. Cam, no. NBA guys, LeBron is a special athlete. LeBron, he got a contract. I saw this the other day. You remember when the NBA had a big holdout in like 2011? The Patriots and the Seahawks and the Cowboys offered LeBron a contract to play tight end, which is very cool. But yeah, no, NBA players could not get dropped into the NFL is a lot harder than it looks, Cam. A lot harder than it looks. How about y'all that starting or that guy Frazier y'all just drafted from West Virginia? Imagine having to go blitz. Imagine he's a pulling left guard, and you got to go set the edge on him. How's that going, Steph Curry? How you going to set the edge on that guy? You're not.
My biggest argument for this, and I get NBA, like to play in the NBA, you have to be one of the most skilled people in the world. I'm not trying.
Look at DK Metcalf goes out, posts on social media of him doing double windmill dunks. You know, like there's so many athletes in the NFL. Like I'm not saying they'd be able to hold their own in the NBA, but I don't know.
You can't convince me there's not a bunch of NFL guys that couldn't go beat Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing, and I'll post this video on social media with this clip, is the biggest, baddest, toughest guy in the NBA right now is Draymond Green. He gets texts. He's this big, tough guy. He tries to fight everybody. He played in the spring game for Michigan State when he was there. And I'll put the clips up, man. He looked like a scared child going against football.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's playing tight end. He couldn't get off the line. He got his helmet knocked off. He played 2 plays. He got his helmet knocked off, and he quit. And that's the biggest, baddest guy in your sport.
Yeah.
He can't play with Michigan State football. There's no chance, man. You have to be a different kind of person to thrive in a football environment. You have to be a psycho.
Yeah.
Legit. You have to be a psychopath to be a great football player. Because you have to want to inflict pain on another person.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. That's not basketball.
No.
Those mindsets are completely different.
Cam, I love it, brother. That's a great little clip there.
And again, NBA players are great at their craft. MLB players, great at their craft. NHL, every sport is different. You have to be wired differently. So for Austin Rivers to go out here and say, oh, it'd be easy for NBA player. Russell Westbrook could go play safety any day of the week. He'd be the best athlete on the field. He may be the best athlete on the field, but when it comes down to him dropping a shoulder on 220-pound DK Metcalf, thinking DK 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Trying to discredit football, man. I can't.
Give me Iguodala.
Yeah. That was good, man. Real quick, I'm going to run through some NBA playoffs. We got some awards. Some picks of the week are back. And then we'll get out of here for you guys. T-Wolves go to Denver award, win both games in Denver. Anthony Edwards had a 37-point game in the first win. And then game 2, they won by like 20 points. One, does Denver have a chance to come back in this series? And 2, how do we feel about Anthony Edwards becoming like America's sweetheart, everybody's favorite superstar?
Hey, Anthony Edwards is the new DJ Birds. But yeah, man, the Nuggets, they're nowhere close to being out of this series. Still a lot of basketball left to play. You got to remember this team won the NBA championship last year. But yeah, I think everybody in the world is pulling for Anthony Edwards. I know I am. Rudy Gobert, he just won his 4th defensive player of the year or something crazy. I'm pulling for him, Cam. I like the Timberwolves. I like what they're doing. And especially since Anthony Edwards played against Western in college, I always have a special place. I always have a special place for him. But yeah, man, go T-Wolves.
Yeah, I'm a T-Wolves fan as well.
Yeah.
Like I want these guys.
This is for Ricky Rubio. Remember him?
Yeah, Johnny Flynn.
No
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love. Kevin Garnett.
KG. Sam Cassell.
No,
maybe another one, Ward. Latrice Sprewell.
No, you're the guy that knows players. I don't.
Okay, my fault.
Oh, I will name a player actually. Ward Sewell, NBA 2K My Player 2012. I won like four NBA Player of the Years for the.
There you go. Wally Zerbiak, Ward. We don't remember Wally Zerbiak. No. Yeah. So T-Wolves up 2-0. 2-0.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler did play there. Him and Cat, man, ended on good terms. Andrew Wiggins. But the Thunder last night, Ward went up 1-0 on the Mavs, and not even a close basketball game. The Celtics went up 1-0 on the Cavs yesterday, and not even a close basketball game. The Knicks are up 1-0 on the Pacers, which are taking us back to the 90s.
Yeah, and that was very controversial too, Cam. I don't know if you saw that, but there was a couple calls that went against the Pacers there at the end of the game that people were pretty pissed off about. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, the bad one was not like they had a moving screen on the last possession. It was a moving screen. But the bad one was the kick ball.
Yeah.
Brunson threw a bad pass, hit Halliburton's hand maybe,
Mhm.
and they called a kick ball. Knicks shoot a three, and hit it. So this is gonna be a fun series, man. These are two fun
Yeah.
basketball teams going at it, and Jalen Brunson, man, is incredible. That whole
He is
Villanova
incredible.
victory. Josh Hart, you could give me 15 Josh Harts, and I could win a lot of basketball games.
Yeah.
Monte DiVincenzo is awesome. Those Nova guys are playing their asses off,
Yeah.
man. And they play tonight, I believe.
They do play tonight.
Super excited about that. NBA awards have started going out. Ward, I think we've got everything but the MVP.
Who's
Rudy
the front
Gobert.
runner to win the MVP?
I think it's going to be Doncic or Jokic.
I figured Luka would get it this year.
And then I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a dark horse, but I don't think he's going to win it.
Damn, I
but-
wish an American was getting it, but
I know. Well, all three of those guys are out of the country, unfortunately.
I know.
So we had
SGA is not American?
Canadian.
Canadian, okay. Well, he's kind of American.
So as you said, Rudy Gobert wins Defensive Player of the Year. We had Wemby, the biggest bust in draft history, according to somebody, won Rookie of the Year. By the way, Ward, this is as bad as he's ever going to be.
Yeah.
Hope you understand that. Like,
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Uh,
Wemby's good.
22, 12, and 2.5 blocks is as bad as he's ever going to be.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
So Wemby wins Rookie of the Year. Let's see. Naz Reid won Sixth Man of the Year, which I bet on. Tyrese
Who's he
Maxey
play
won-
for?
he's the backup big for the Timberwolves.
Okay.
The one with the dreads, number 11.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I love Naz Reid. Tyrese Maxey won Most Improved, which I also bet on.
Nice.
Steph Curry won Clutch Player of the Year.
Nice.
And I don't know who won Coach of the Year or Exec of the Year.
I wonder, Coach of the Year, I wonder who they give it to. I wonder if they give it to the Knicks coach.
Either, I mean, the Knicks coach would be up there. The Thunder coach, I mean, they're the one seed in the West, and they're the youngest team in basketball, so I'd assume probably.
Yeah,
them.
the Thunder's coach will get it. We didn't talk about Ham getting fired from LA.
Yeah, man, that was long
I don't
overdue.
really, I know.
That was
Yeah,
long.
I don't really care too much about it.
Who?
But
I mean, who's their next coach? Who do you think that? I saw that JJ Redick is one of the betting favorites to get.
yeah, you know, my buddy Logan, that's a little crazy over sports takes sometimes. He told me the other day that there was a chance that Steph Curry and LeBron were coming to Charlotte. Listen,
I hope so.
I'll tell you why, because JJ Redick was going to be JJ Redick was going to be the coach of of Charlotte, and then him and LeBron have a podcast together, and LeBron wants to play with his son. There's a chance they could get his son, so LeBron comes, and then Steph Curry's from Charlotte, so he's going to come home.
Hey, I do want to say shout out to Logan. He was awesome on the live last week when it was just me and anybody else who commented. There's too many to name, but everybody who helped out with the live last week and what didn't let me be all by myself. Thank you, especially Logan. Logan was awesome. So
good.
I hope it, and I hope that happens. That would be awesome for Charlotte.
I don't know if there's a house big enough on Lake Norman for old LeBron James.
Well, I mean, even if you got like a 45-year-old LeBron and a 40-year-old Steph, like you would sell out that state. You would sell out the Spectrum Center.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Ward, Joe Burrow is back from wrist surgery and was throwing the ball around.
Yeah.
As a football fan, I love to see that. As a rival of the Bengals, I hate to see it. But Joe Shiesty's back, man.
Shiesty is back, my friend. Cam, you better watch out.
Yeah.
I'm a Steelers fan too, brother. Y'all got Peyton Wilson.
I'm not excited to play him twice a year.
Yeah.
Real quick, Ward, give me your Fade Wade picks of the week. I'll go over Bam's bad beats, and we will get out of here.
Cool. Fade Wade picks of the week. The Rangers are probably going to be a -1.5 favorite against the Hurricanes. I do think the Hurricanes win Game 3 at home. So give me the Canes money line and covering, however you want to make money. Next, Cam, I don't think the Nuggets lose 3 games in a row to the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are very good. They're playing good defense, but I just feel like Jamal Murray and Jokic are going to have something in the back of their head. But yeah, give me the Nuggets money line. Game 3, another one, Cam. Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson is his over under right now is 36.5. I have a weird feeling Jalen Brunson scored what, 42 points. He's averaging 42 points in the playoffs. I have a weird feeling he goes over. So, Cam, give me the over on Jalen Brunson.
There we go. Bam's bad beats. I've got Knicks -4.5 tonight. OKC tomorrow against Dallas are 5-point favorites. I think they cover that spread. And then the Phil and Frisky pick of the week. Max Homa is 20-1 to win the Wells Fargo championship.
Max Homa, that guy.
Give me Max Homa winning outright, 20-1. You don't
Not
like that?
Not a big Homa fan. Homa is what's the word for it? I gotta watch my language on the podcast. He's a podcast. He's on a lot of podcasts, Cam. He goes to all these different podcasts. Well, we don't go on any other ones. We just create podcasts. It'd be like Max Homa is the kind of guy that he'll come on our podcast, and then he'll go to our rival podcast and our other rival podcast and our other rival podcast. He's trying to get his name out there via podcast. He's like
a media whore.
I didn't want to say the word whore. He's a podcast whore, is what he is. Yeah. So screw that guy.
I can't believe that you don't like him for putting his name out there. I like him. I think he's awesome. But yeah, that was episode 54. Excuse
54,
me.
54. Golly, Cam, we're getting up there,
the
man.
Fat Katz Podcast. We appreciate you guys listening as always. Find us on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Instagram, and TikTok at Fat Katz Pod. Don't forget to click the link in our bio if you want some merch. But super fun episode.
Cam, and what's it called? Reels.
Reels, yeah.
Have you ever posted on Reels?
Well, Reels is on Instagram now.
I know. You ever post on Instagram Reels or not?
Yeah.
I still don't have Reels. So,
well, they made the one that was like Twitter. We don't go on that one anymore. Okay. I forget what it's.
Does Fat Katz have Twitter or not?
No, we do not. But I do post on X through my account. Some of our stuff. So we get some coverage there. I don't know if you listened to the full podcast last week, Ward, but I did in a 30-second span. I had 3 no diddies go out. The chat went crazy. It got some love on X.
I still don't know what no diddy means.
It's the new no homo.
Oh, okay. What is Diddy not gay?
We'll talk after the podcast about all the Diddy stuff. We'll go over that. But
thought Diddy like rape kids, but
pleasure as always, my friend. If you made it this far, Ward owes you a beer.
Yeah. Bug Light from Cam. Peace, brother.
Peace.